President Trump meets President Xi Jinping as tensions rise between the US and China. Both countries have put new tariffs on each other's goods, raising prices for everyone. This high-level meeting aims to slow down the trade war. The decisions made here could affect millions of workers and businesses. The world is watching. This moment could reshape global trade for years to come. President Trump says tariffs are needed to protect American jobs and industries. He believes the United States has been treated unfairly by China for many years. Trump claims that China has taken advantage of the United States by selling more to America than it buys. This is called a trade deficit, and Trump wants to reduce it. He also argues that tariffs will force China to change its business practices. Another reason Trump gives is national security. He says some Chinese products like electronics could be a risk to the United States if they are used for spying or stealing technology. By putting tariffs on these goods, he hopes to make America safer. Trump also wants China to stop sending dangerous drugs like fentanyl to the United States, which has caused a health crisis. Trump's goal is to make American companies more competitive. He believes that, with higher tariffs, American-made products will become cheaper than Chinese imports. This, he thinks, will bring back factories and jobs to the United States. He often talks about how tariffs will make America stronger and richer. Not everyone agrees with Trump's reasons. Some experts say tariffs can hurt American consumers and workers. But for Trump and his supporters, tariffs are a tool to fix what they see as unfair trade and to protect the country's interests. Tariffs have brought billions of dollars into the United States Treasury. These are taxes paid when goods from China enter the United States. President Trump often points to this money as proof that his strategy is working. He says the United States is finally getting paid after years of losing out to China. The government uses this money for farm aid and other programs to help those hurt by the trade war. However, there is a debate about who really pays these tariffs. Most experts agree that American companies importing Chinese goods pay the taxes, not Chinese businesses. These companies often pass the extra costs to customers through higher prices. So, while the government collects more money, American families and businesses end up paying more. The tariffs are now facing a Supreme Court case. Some business groups and lawmakers argue that Trump used powers that should belong to Congress. They say he put tariffs in place without proper checks and balances. The Supreme Court will decide if the president had the right to act alone in this way. This case could change how future presidents use tariffs. This legal fight adds another layer to the trade war. It shows that the conflict is not just between countries, but also about who has the power to shape United States trade policy. President Trump remains hopeful about the effect of tariffs. He believes they will lead to new investment in American factories. He says companies will move production back to the United States instead of paying high tariffs on imports. Trump often highlights stories of new factories opening or old ones expanding as proof that his strategy is working. He also claims that tariffs will create more jobs for American workers. According to Trump, when companies make more goods in the United States, they will need to hire more people. This, he argues, will help rebuild the middle class and make the economy stronger. Trump points to a few successes, like growth in some industries, as signs that his plan is on track. Supporters of Trump's approach say tariffs are a way to stand up to China. They believe that short-term pain is worth it if it leads to fairer trade and more jobs in the long run. They argue that the United States must be tough to get better deals and to protect its future. But the reality is mixed. While some jobs have been created, other sectors have struggled. The full impact of tariffs on investment and jobs is still debated, and many are waiting to see if Trump's optimism will be justified. Despite Trump's optimism, there are real problems. Many United States manufacturers have been hurt by the tariffs. The costs of parts and materials from China have gone up, making it harder for American companies to compete. Some factories have closed or laid off workers because they cannot afford the higher prices. There has also been a drop in manufacturing jobs in some areas. Economists say the trade war has created uncertainty, making businesses less willing to invest. Some farmers have lost sales as China has put tariffs on American soybeans and other products. This has led to government aid for farmers, but it has not solved all their problems. Critics argue that tariffs are not working as planned. They say the policy is causing more harm than good, with higher prices for consumers and fewer jobs in key industries. Some business leaders want the tariffs to end so trade can return to normal. The pushback shows that the trade war is complicated. While some benefit, others lose. The debate over tariffs continues as both sides feel the pressure. China has not stood still during the trade war. When the United States put tariffs on Chinese products, China retaliated with its own tariffs on American goods. But China also started finding new markets for its products. Exports to Europe, Africa, and other regions have grown. This has helped China make up for losses in the United States market. China's economy has stayed strong, growing faster than expected despite the trade war. Chinese leaders have used the conflict to rally public support. They say China will not be bullied and must become even more self-reliant. A key move by China is its control of rare earth metals. These are important for making electronics, batteries, and military equipment. China has threatened to limit exports of these metals, putting pressure on United States companies. This shows that China is willing to use its unique resources as a weapon in the trade conflict. China's response shows it is ready for a long fight. By finding new markets and using strategic resources, China has shown it can stand up to American pressure. The trade war has touched many lives in both countries. In the United States, some workers have lost jobs, while others have found new opportunities. Farmers in particular have been hit hard by China's tariffs on American crops. Many have struggled to find new buyers, and some have needed government aid to survive. Businesses have had to rethink their supply chains. Some have moved production to other countries to avoid tariffs. Others have passed the extra costs to customers, making everyday items like clothing, electronics, and toys more expensive. This has affected family budgets and made life harder for some Americans. In China, factories that sold mainly to the United States have faced challenges, but many have adapted by selling to other countries. Chinese workers have also felt the impact, especially in areas that depend on exports. Still, the government has tried to keep the economy stable and avoid large-scale job losses. The trade war's effects go beyond numbers. It changes how people work, what they buy, and how companies do business. The full impact will be felt for years to come. The United States-China trade war is not just a fight between two countries. It is changing the global economy. Many companies are moving factories out of China to avoid tariffs. Countries like Vietnam, Mexico, and India are getting more business as a result. This is shifting global supply chains and creating new winners and losers. Other countries are also rethinking their trade policies. Some are making new trade deals to reduce their dependence on the United States or China. The uncertainty has made the world economy more unstable. Investors are nervous, and economic growth has slowed in some regions. Experts say this trade war is different from past conflicts. It is not just about tariffs, but also about technology, security, and who will lead the global economy in the future. Both the United States and China are using new tactics, like limiting access to rare earth metals and advanced computer chips. The outcome of this trade war will shape the world for years. It is likely to make global trade more complex and less predictable. Countries, companies, and workers everywhere will have to adapt to a new reality.